Yeah, it looks like Johny Hendricks calling it quits. Um, so I kind of just want to talk about my feelings about this and uh, thinking about his last performance. Honestly, like if you're going to be competing in mixed martial arts, it's an all-in thing. It's a all or nothing kind of situation. So if you're feeling that feeling where he's only 34, if you're feeling that feeling that you just can't muster, like you can't muster that same effort that you used to have. Um, yeah, it's like eventually you're just gonna have to be realistic with yourself, and it's probably better that if you're not gonna go all in, it's better that you just retire. It just makes sense because is one MMA is not one of those kind of situations where you can just do this your entire life. So obviously you're going to have to retire from it at some point, and taking damage needlessly just doesn't make any sense, especially at 185 pounds. Like Hendricks was always a natural welterweight, so him going up to middleweight, it just wasn't going to bode well. I mean, he won his debut against Hector Lombard, and that was about it. I mean, he got knocked out. He got TKO'd by Tim Bosch, got TKO'd by Paulo Costa, who's like a monster. I don't even know how he makes 185, but you see and he didn't do that bad in that fight. I thought Hendricks held himself, he acquitted himself well, but he had the option of, in my opinion, it's like either go down to welterweight or hang it up. And I don't usually say that, like he didn't, he's gotten out. Like, I mean, only he knows what kind of damage he's suffered during his career, but if you're just feeling like that fire is not burning, then call it quits. But I did see he was still kind of competitive against someone who outweighed him, had massive size over him. He was throwing a lot of kicks. I remember in the fight, a lot of kicks, a lot of movement, and was able to have a little bit of success in the fight. But ultimately, size, was just too much. But yeah, I do have this kind of half disappointment kind of feeling. It's like I was never the absolute diehard fan of Johny Hendricks, especially when before I started breaking things down. When I started writing articles, before I started writing articles, you obviously you're a fan of the sport, you're a fan of certain individuals in the sport, and back in the day. I wasn't the hugest Hendricks fan. I did think he was very effective in his abilities, but being a traditional martial artist, I've always kind of geared towards kickboxers and strikers and things of that nature. But I do want to acknowledge how effective he was in his past, and that I don't know. I really do feel those wars with Robbie Lawler. It did. You don't have wars like that and have it not affect you. I mean, I'm sure other people are going to be chiming in about other information like the USADA coming into effect and all these other kind of things, but I'm not even on some smear campaign nonsense with Hendricks. I really do think um, it's kind of unfortunate that it's one of those things. He reached the summit, so you can't really you can't really knock his career. You can't really say like, okay, he had a poor career or anything like that. He reached the summit. He was welterweight champion for a time. You know, Robbie Lawler came back and took it right back from him. But despite that, he's gonna always be known for those battles. He's gonna be known for his knockout power. Um, and that honestly, it's just it almost works as a cautionary tale a little bit. Um, whatever whatever he was doing before, it's just obviously once after he lost to Robbie Lawler in that fight, it just seems like he switched things up too drastically. Like he left his gym behind to do more of like a personalized kind of gym, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Um, I do believe, as much of as this is an individual sport, this is also a team sport. You need to have a strong team behind you that knows exactly what you need, what you require. Someone to tell you to get up. You're being lazy. It's time to start running. It's time to do some pad work. We need to do the strength and conditioning. How's your nutrition? So when he left his camp to have that personal camp, I already thought that was a big sign of things going a bit downhill. But despite that, uh, do think the guy he's such a laid back, chill guy in interviews and everything like that. It's just one of those. It's good to. He was kind of a breath of fresh air in that manner. He wasn't necessarily a Conor McGregor when he was just talking pure trash and everything, but he had his laid back nature. He said, "Hey, I think I'm the best in the world," and he'd just go in there and try and knock your head off, or wrestle you, or do what needed to be done to win that fight. And yeah, so I do wish him good luck in his retirement. Hopefully he has something else plotted out. Obviously he had a restaurant before, so he's of the entrepreneurial kind of mindset. So most likely he's got something in his back pocket, and this is the time to hatch it. So if you guys you like the video, you can just give me a like, subscribe. Share your comments about Johny Hendricks, like what you will remember him for. For me, I will always remember that Martin Kampman knockout, just devastating, punching him across the cage, KO. And obviously the Robbie Lawler fights as well. Probably gonna delve in and probably watch a couple of those later on today. Some nice reminiscing. And yeah, so let me know about your Johny Hendricks moments if you have any, and yeah, catch you in the next video.